Happy Tuesday, everybody. I guess I'm live now. You caught me. Let me wait for just a minute here to see if anyone else joins us. Otherwise, if you're catching the replay, love for you to leave a comment and let us know. I'd love to see any comments or things that you'd like to see in future episodes of our Top Live Tuesday. But I'm going to kick this off. I've got a little story to tell you guys. So last week, of course, I was talking about the AN wrench. We had a video out, and I was talking about the AN wrench. And, and then it came to the time where I had some furniture I needed to put together. I actually just moved some stuff, and I was putting this table together. And so I'm having to put these legs on this table, and it has these major bolts on there. So I was like, oh, wow, I have all those wrenches up there. I think, I can finally have a chance to use my wrenches. They're standard. Apparently, it must have been a metric. So none of my little wrenches worked up there. They just look pretty, shiny up on my shelf there. So then I reached into my tool bag, and I've got a crescent wrench. So, no big deal. Didn't think twice about it. And I'm trying to work on this. And then it was fresh in my mind that here I had just talked about the AN wrench that particular day. So it was exactly like what we were talking about. I had screwed this down, and it was slipping, and it was just kind of junky. And sure, I mean, this is not I'm sure this is just, oh, it's husky. So I guess that's probably picked it up, oh, made in China, So probably just kind of a junky tool in the first place. So we're not really comparing that, this is like, comparing a Mercedes to I don't know, a Pinto. But then I pulled this out. And this is how I ended up putting my table together. And now you can really see it. When you see these wrenches side by side, you can see that this really only has like 3 things on the worm gear, and then this one has 4. So already you can tell how much more sturdy that is. And then we can also compare the, oh, look at that, made in USA, compared to, oh, look at that, made in China. So, not to be racist or anything, but I am American, so we're just going to roll with that. But that is my AN wrench story, and now this is going to be added to my personal collection. I have to say, I sell a lot of race car parts, and I love the products that we sell, but truthfully, there are very few products that I personally, as someone who doesn't have a race car, there are very few that I personally use for my own stuff. But this is now in my personal collection, and I don't think anyone can pry this away from me. Yeah, you might be able to borrow it, maybe. So I just wanted to recap that. And then we've had a couple of videos come out too. So we had last week on Thursday, we came out with a video talking about bearing seals and the difference between Viton seals and the Teflon seals. So you might want to check out that video. It's on our Facebook page, and it is also on our YouTube channel. And hi, thank you so much for the people who are joining. I talked to Dustin earlier today. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you could make it. So anyway, with those bearing seals, we have also added superior bearings, birdcage bearing seals, to our store. So I'll have links in the description or the comments below. Once this video is done, I'll have all of those links. So no big deal on that. But those bearing seals are really nice, and they're just such high quality. Superior makes a really wonderful product. And then also earlier today, we put out a video about our Hammond Motorsports chassis setup plates. And let me show you what one of these looks like here. These things are a beast. They are a beast. And I'm sorry, whoever's calling, they didn't know apparently that we're on our live Facebook video. So this is a Hammond Motorsports chassis setup plate. And this is a blue set, and we also have these for wide 5, and we have them for 5-on-5 as well. And what's so nice, these are so heavy duty. It's a great way you put these on your hubs, and then you can measure things. So like there's these notch outs right here, so you can string a tape measure from one side to another, and really find out where your axles are and straighten out your car. It's a very handy tool to have as far as that goes. And that whole set, so you've got 4 of them, obviously 2 for the front, 2 for the rear, and all the bolts and everything. Those sets run $375, and those are in our store. And again, I'll put a link in the description, or there's also a link if you check out that video from earlier today. And then that brings us to Top 5 Tuesday. So let's talk about our top 5 products of this week. And the first of these, we'll start with item number 5 here. And this is not something that I have just right in my back pocket. So, oh, wrong phone. Whoops. Yeah, you never know what kind of technical errors I'm going to come up with here. But in the number 5 spot is our Dynatech 604 dirt late model headers with the anti-reversion mufflers. So this whole setup, you've got a left side, right side header, as well as an elbow for the left side, an extension on the right side, and the anti-reversion mufflers that were originally designed by Hendron Racing Engines, and then they are produced by Dynatech. So this is a great setup. That whole set runs $599.97, and it does come with gaskets and bolts, so you can go ahead and put that right onto your car. We sell a lot of headers, and if you have a particular chassis, I think there's only one chassis right now. I'm trying to find out what the headers that go on that are, but I should know most of the chassis, or they should be listed. And again, I'll put a link in the comments below. In the number 4 spot this week, this has been a favorite of ours for a long time, is our Dominator cold air box. So if you haven't seen this, what this does is this goes right over the top of your air filter base. It has a gasket that way it'll seal really, really nicely, and then you put your air filter on top of the cold air box, and then your lid over the top of that, and it is just is wonderful for keeping your air filter separated from the engine heat. As a side note too, you know, when you're running, you don't always get a ton of dust into your air filter system, but think about when you're driving around the pits, and you know that dust is just being flicked up, and in this way that can prevent some of that dust from getting into your air filter as well. So just like a little side benefit. But that is our cold air box from Dominator, and that runs $69, and that is in the number 4 spot. In the number 3 spot this week, got it right over here, is our air cleaner stud kit from Joe's Racing Products. And if you missed last week's episode, I was talking about what I really like about this is, so you screw this into your carburetor, of course, and then this nut thing here, this you can adjust to the height of your air filter. So that way when you go to put your base over the top, no matter how much you try to screw that down, it is not going to go past this part right here, and that way it keeps you from crushing your air filter, and it's just a really nice measurement system. This is a stainless steel stud, so you don't have to worry about rust or corrosion. Just a really nice kit, and this runs $34.95, and that is number 3. In the number 2 spot, I just kind of wore it in this honor, is our Klotz oil change kit. Let me show you a picture of that as well. And because I decided not to bring any oil into my office today, but our Klotz oil change kit, it comes with 7 quarts of Klotz oil, and it comes with a Wix air filter. So that's our Wix 51061R, which is really for the, well, for any of the 602s or 604s, either one of those, and it's a wonderful air filter. And yes, we do 7 quarts. I know that's a question that pops up a bunch. They're like, well, people say, hey, it's GM, in the GM manual it calls for 8 quarts. It's an 8-quart oil pan. And yes, those things are true, but for racing, that we just don't need that extra quart of oil. That extra quart of oil will just create a little bit of drag that you just don't need. It's not going to help you. And, you know, we're also not running these for 100,000 miles or anything. So we are changing oil, you know, pretty frequently. So that 7 quarts is completely fine. And that is in the number 2 spot. In the top spot this week, for the 2nd week in a row, is Daylube. Oh, there we go. So Daylube, and it comes in jars like this, or up top here you can see I've got a tube right there, or right up, wrong way, there we go. Right up there we have a syringe as well, and we still do have a few of the fidget spinners left. So if you order Daylube, you'll get one of these fidget spinners in with your package. So that is in our top spot. Congratulations to Daylube, and you know, it's just a great product. You can use it for your bearing seal, bearings, And there are lots of other uses. So anywhere you would use grease, you can use day lube. And those nanoceramic particles, they make it so it's just very nice and lubricated. Hey, does anybody have any questions? You're welcome to join in if you've got any questions on any of the items that we've talked about. But at the end of this video, I will put up comments for all of the different things that we've talked about. And I guess that is all I have. So let me recap. Number 5, we have Dynatech headers. Number 4, we have our cold air box. In the number 3 spot is our air cleaner stud kit. In the number 2 spot is our Klotz oil change kit. And in the top spot, once again this week, is day lube. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week at 2 o'clock for Top 5 Tuesday. Thanks for watching.